Shut up and sit down.
Hello, Internet. This is Epic Phil, episode 156. We're a day late. Sorry, stuff came up. It was inevitable. And Galv couldn't make it either, so it kind of worked out. I am Draven Dresden, and as you know, with me, sometimes, most of the time, we got a Galv, who, now that we have this lovely new background, by the way, thanks, Theory, I could probably do something with the green screen, but I didn't have a chance to set it up because I had other things to set up this week. So we'll fix the green screen on, at least for Galv, and you'll still have to deal with the ugly paint wall crap behind me.
Yeah, well, it'd be fun to have a little bit of background behind me here, but still pretty good. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Appreciate it. The odd opportunity of being able to come back the day after because I had family in town, so it's pretty important to actually hang out.
Yeah, it's a holiday weekend, so stuff's going on. I figured this week and next week will be entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
So, how have you been? What have you been up to? I know we did the rating thing this week.
We did do the rating thing this week. Things have been going pretty well on that front. Fire department's up to 30 pre-launch. What the hell?
Oh, that's presuming we're keeping everybody. Let's face it. There's a couple people that we might want to cut, but the new people we can probably keep. But there's a couple people we might want to cut.
Stop looking at me like that. Yeah, so no, we had some pretty good times, and I think that we're going to have a strong showing into launch. I mean, that's just all there is to it. So the couple of new people are really strong, which is nice. I think people appreciate having that kind of team to catch up on. Did some PTR in Overwatch. I did some. I have some accomplishments in Hearthstone to talk about, and yeah, no, it's been a pretty good holiday week, and the personal life went for a roller coaster since the last time we talked too. So, nothing awful, but definitely interesting things here. My company got bought, so I'm looking at the strong possibility of what will happen next. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure I'll be fine, but it's that uncertainty of real life that kind of makes you question what's going on. But that's not a bad thing. How are you doing?
Well, when it comes to reality, I never know what's going on.
Right?
One of the benefits of being crazy.
Is this the real
I'm kidding, guys. I have papers proving my sanity.
That's bullshit.
Well, I forged them, so it's okay. Yeah, as for my week, lots of games. I've been trying to do the Druid, Bear, Mage Tower, and people will say it's easy, and for them it might be. But you gotta remember, I leveled Resto.
Druid, Bear, Mage Tower.
Yeah, I leveled as a healer. I hate healing, but I figured it was what I'd be best at on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I leveled from 1 to 110 as a healer. I think the first time I actually put it into bear spec was last week, 2 weeks ago, and that was for literal putting the artifact power in, because we didn't know when the Mage Tower is going to be permanent. We didn't know when we were getting the super duper fancy, hey, here's a whole lot of artifact power for your weapon. Guess what? It's overloading. It's going to explode.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And hey, How about a hello shout out to Frog there? Yeah.
Yay.
Sprout was one of our walk-alongs recently and just kicked ass,
Yeah.
so that was fun.
Yeah, I had a surreal moment in Raid because someone was like, oh, this is the group I'm in. They mentioned me by name. They're like, oh, I didn't know it was his group. I was like, I don't know if I should be flattered or say I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. It's a good question, right?
Yeah, it's just a weird feeling when someone names you out of everybody. I didn't know it was your group. Oh.
I didn't know. Right.
So, I mean, that's right up there with I got a whisper when I was doing a World Quest one day, and someone was like, I love your show, and I'm on my main character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't name that character on the show ever, and it's like, that was weird.
Enjoy your stalker, okay?
Yeah.
Just enjoy your stalker.
I've dealt with stalkers before. Not as much fun as people make it out to be.
I don't know. You just never know. You just never know.
No, that's not stalking. That's just poking fun. But, God, I forgot about that. Oh.
I have it sitting by. I'm not supposed to use it, but every once in a while.
Oh yeah, every once in a while, yeah. But yeah, we've got a couple of good recruits. My question is what we're gonna do next expansion. Like, who's gonna actually stick around, because not everyone's going to level as quickly. I know usually they give us a week or two or maybe even a month to, prepare for the raid. But even then, some people just kind of don't. So we'll find out then. And I'm still debating on what I'm going to main, whether it's my more likely than not Paladin or my Demon Hunter. One of my Demon Hunters. Since I have so many of them. Which I guess I could delete most of them now. Meh. Gold makers.
I suppose, if you keep running the correct quests and whatnot.
Yeah, for now.
So.
But yeah, I messed around on the PTR for Overwatch. Not as much on the WoW PTR beta, just because I've been busy trying to get the Druid thing. And still haven't. I've gotten close a few times. But screw you, Velen.
Mage Tower, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw you, Velen.
Yeah, Velen just killed me.
Yeah. I've been responsible for some myself. I've been knocked off because I wasn't paying attention to the right thing at the right time. But more often than not, at this point, it's because he just dies because the ghosties walk
He's
up to
nothing
him.
But trouble.
Yeah.
He is nothing but trouble.
If he could just go away but still give me those balls of life, that would be great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, I know we've got it's sort of a strange situation this week. There's not a ton in some things, and there's a bunch in others. Where do you want to start?
Well, you mentioned you had some Hearthstone news, so I figure we might as well start there because, as per usual, Diablo has nothing. The new season's going, but that's been going for a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say is that the only thing about Diablo is that I see a lot of people playing it. They're in the Torment 70s, Torment 100, or whatever the heck it is. They're enjoying the heck out of it. And I watched iRun play some the other night, and he's just plowing through. It's like hitting the reset button on your brain from playing World of Warcraft, because rather than fighting for 15 weeks to see if you can get one set piece, you're getting like 12 set pieces a night, and then you just have to sort of sort out which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to melt. So
they just happen to be different sets.
Yeah.
It's like I went and got the little cube thingy, so I can reforge them, and I can even turn it into another set piece item of the same set. But I'm getting the same two, and I have them already. I want a different one.
But as you play through, they still upgrade. So that's the reward factor of Diablo that feeds your reward centers, because even if you repeat the same challenge, as it were, as your character levels up, it becomes, you get better loot anyway. So.
But yeah, I still got to do the solo 20, and then I'll be done with the seasonal achievement stuff.
I should go do that. I haven't even loaded it. So.
Well, let's be honest here. I got carried. Like, I was a hunter in WoW raids for whenever I was leveling my character in Diablo. Someone took me and said, you stand at the door, I'll go kill everything for us, and you can loot a couple things along the way. Like if you see a legendary or something. So yeah, I was a WoW hunter. Because I even face pulled some stuff. So yeah, WoW hunter.
So I will tell you a little bit about what's going on in Hearthstone. First off, I'm pretty happy that I finished as high as rank 4. So I reset to rank 8, and I got a little ways into rank 4 this season, which is the best I've ever done. And I found out there's a thing called Dad Legend, and the hashtag Dad Legend is when you get to rank 5, because most of us, full-time lifers, don't have the hours to grind out the 5 to legend that the young, unwed, no children, no job, whatever combination of free time they can scrounge up that way players have. So, yeah. So I made Dad Legend, and that was kind of amusing. And so as I was playing in ranks 5, I kept playing Legend players. And that actually is not supposed to happen. And it turns out that if you remember 2 months ago, Blizzard introduced this new method for ranking up in Hearthstone, right? Instead of the escalating amount of stars from like ranks 20 to Legend, it's every rank is 5. And then whenever the season ends, you only get bumped back 4 ranks. Well, the byproduct of this is that more players than ever hit Legend. And so these Legend players that hit Legend would lose so many games in a row in Legend that their MMR, which is the secret sauce for matchmaking, called the matchmaking ranks that the computer has, had the Legend players with a lower MMR rank than those of us in rank 5 and 4 grinding out, trying to grind the rest of our ranks out. And there were reports, unverified reports, could have been a doctored screenshot of as low as rank 13s drawing Legend matches in their ranked play. So that's different. And what they've done is they've addressed that, and they said that they have introduced a more sophisticated matchmaking algorithm for the month of July, so that you won't be seeing Legend players when you're trying to grind through ranks 5 or 4 or 3, stuff like that. But they say that if you're rank 1 or 2, it's very possible that you will still see a Legend player, because the computer is going to take into account that even if they lost a bunch of games, the fact that they're in the Legend bracket, them mostly out of the rank tiers below. So that's news in Hearthstone. Fun. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how would you like that if you're trying to grind away in, Heroes of the Storm or something, and you just, all of a sudden, as you got to bronze, you're playing diamond level crap over and over again. You're like, where are these diamond players coming from?
So, basically the start of not this season that we did, but the one before it? Where everyone was playing against Grandmasters from time to time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was entertaining.
Yep. So, and the other thing that people suggested is, rather than having it be a secret formula, they should just make the matchmaking rankings completely transparent, and say that this person's MMR rank is whatever it is, and just show you.
Okay, so here's the problem. Every game ever that has that kind of thing, the players want that. That's not necessarily a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with Hearthstone, you can be like, well, I just had bad RNG. I'm actually a better player than this, when maybe you're not.
Possibly, yeah.
But it would be a one-on-one, so I could understand it on this one. Understand hiding it on this one, because it is just a one-on-one. Or even showing it, that's fine too. There are other games, like Heroes of the Storm, where I really want them to do a reset, because in that game in particular, I started never playing a MOBA. I had no idea how to control anything, so I died and lost a lot of games at the very beginning, even against the AI.
Yeah.
So I would love for them to do a reset because I actually think I'm a better player now. But because of my MMR and it being a team-based game, I'm getting stuck in groups with people who are still learning the game, even though they shouldn't be in Hero League. So, you know, I can't get out. So I've almost stopped playing Hero League entirely. I'm just doing my quests, and usually either in AI or in Quick Match, and every now and then I'll do an unranked. And I've done 4 Hero League matches in the past 3 seasons.
I'd have to have a lot of motivation to go down that road right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Well, between that, the whole taking the wind out of my sails for that, I'm not a grandmaster by any means, but I think I could at least get the gold, maybe diamond or platinum, whatever's next. If I have a good streak, I could get there. I don't think I'd stay there.
Sure.
Gold, I could see. But
yeah,
the fact that I can't is just annoys the heck out of me.
Well, we actually got to touch on a little bit of Heroes of the Storm just now. Go figure. Oh, there's also a ton of StarCraft tournaments somewhere.
Shocking. I know Korea's doing tournaments.
They are.
Which
they are.
Kind of is almost an always thing. So
it feels that way on occasion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do code, like Code S is their top, and then they have Code A and B and stuff like that. So they're working their way up, and Code S is like their final tournament.
Essentially, the players over there are like Pokemon or like Chocobo from Final Fantasy VII. Only people that leveled up Chocobo in races know what I'm talking about.
Dude, I haven't played that game in so long. Now I want to do that. Now I'm upset that they haven't put out the remake yet. Thanks.
It's a ways off. They said that their announcement was premature.
Yeah, by about 5 years.
But I mean, this is going to sound weird, but I want my then future teenage children to be able to pick that thing up and enjoy it the way I did. And hopefully they don't get a bunch of spoilers, because, you know, those first couple of moments with Sephiroth, you're like, ah!
Well, so this isn't Blizzard, but they're remaking it so they can change anything they want.
Yeah, but I thought they were saying they were updating it for modern
system. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be some stuff. I don't think the cross-dressing thing is gonna be there anymore, because that's just
that's kind of weird. I was gonna say that's like one of the more notable,
more humorous. Yeah, it's a humor thing. I don't think that'll stay, but because it really serves no real purpose to the game except funny.
Well, yeah, it is funny.
Yeah, so, you know. But moving back to Blizzard, we did touch on Heroes a little bit.
We slapped StarCraft.
Yeah. Made fun of Diablo. We got Overwatch. We got a couple
Overwatch. Okay. Would this come from? I guess they had a thing where something rolled across the screen, right?
Okay, so originally they had... over on Twitter, Overwatch put a picture up, and it had nothing. It just was a little bit of wind, blah blah blah. And then it had posters on the background and all that. And people were like, "Oh, it's going to be this." I'm like, "No, this is something for a new hero, because it's about that time." Mm-hmm. July was around the time that it was. If they're going by past heroes, it was about the time for the next one, and it is now July, and he's going to be out this month. And then they did another one where it's. The ball rolled by, and no one, like, you're like, pause it.
What was that?
You could pause it and see it was a giant metal ball, but it technically didn't nothing.
Answer anything.
They were like, I don't know what that means.
Did Winston knock the top off the Daily Planet and roll it down the street? What's the?
Only when he was sipping on his gin and juice.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so they give nothing away, and then there was one guy who. It was over on Reddit, and I didn't have the link available. I apologize. But he was literally going through, and he's like, we know what this is going to be. It's going to be a freaking hamster. And we know this because... And he listed all these reasons of previous stuff. Like, We know they were experimenting on other animals on the moon, not just gorillas. We know he was little because he was able to get through the vents, and he kept escaping, so he was little. We know that they're not overly worried about him, so we know he's not something dangerous. And he was just going through all these things. He's like,
he's not dangerous?
Hammond is a freaking hamster. And then within like the week, boom, quote unquote, wrecking ball comes out. And it's Hammond in a giant metal hamster ball with guns. Because when you're in a giant metal hamster ball, you're obviously going to put guns on it.
Have you had a chance to toy with Hammond yet?
I did, and I found out that not only do I suck at him, I don't really want to play as him when he comes live.
He seemed to me...
I suck at him, though, so that's why.
So I played around in a couple places. You cannot, unless you make a custom game, there's no way to actually play Hammond, even on the PTR, because as soon as you go into any sort of multiplayer game against AI or anything like that, someone else with a faster internet connection clicks on him before you do. So you have to custom make an AI game and just play AI so you can pick him.
I actually got to be Hammond against other people.
Did you?
So it is possible. It's not likely. I mean, you got 5 other people, and you can go into the node limits, and you can all be Hammond. But
but the whole premise is, feel out how Hammond plays against other characters, and or at least that was my what I wanted to do, because in the board where you shoot target dummies, at the Antarctica base, I latched onto one of those floating, platforms that goes around in circles, and I was spinning around that thing, doing the wrecking ball move, and just taking things out left and right. That was pretty entertaining, and I would say that, like Junkrat, every time he drops his minefield on a point, it's likely to be the play of the game, because you drop that in a crowd, of people contesting a point. Holy crap! It just clears the deck. So his quad guns, his primary regular attack, is relatively strong, but such a small clip that if you don't unload a full clip of headshots, you're going to have to reload, and the reload is fairly long. Kind of like, I'd say, maybe Bastion reload speeds. So there's that.
Yeah, I spent most of my time playing it. I tested him out.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get it. I was like, I want to test him before I actually go into a game and try to get him.
Yeah.
So I went into and I tested him out. And you know what I spent most of my time doing? Jumping off the side, trying to judge how far I can get with the rope and how to get back on. Using the rope as getting around obstacles.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Your vertical is unbelievable.
I wasn't even talking vertical. I'm talking horizontal. You jump. Here's the platform, and I'm just running off the side, and I'll fling my rope back and just fling back around. There's a thing there? Yeah. That's what I did a lot. And I died a lot, but then I started realizing, oh, it's this long. So I figured out how long it is and all that.
Well, Draven, how long is it?
Long enough that I ain't complained. No one complained. This is an explicit show. No, I'm just kidding. PG-13.
Sure. Yeah. One of the things I noticed is that his vertical. So when you do kind of the experiments you were talking about, and you start swinging, how far up you can shoot yourself is huge. He might be able to reach or go around obstacles that no other character can.
Yeah, I know there's a skybox where how far you can go up, but Farah's been so far really the only one who can get up to them.
Oh, yeah, in my PTR match today, by the way, the Farah was on top of the skybox and clipping through walls. So Farah was killing me. I reported them. Farah was killing me with rockets through buildings. because they were shooting from outside the box.
Did you report them, or did you report that as a bug? Because they shouldn't have been able to get up there in the first place.
I reported them because they repeatedly did it. Like, they knew how to do it and were intentionally doing it.
At least it was on the PTR, though. For testing.
Yeah.
Not much better.
But they were trolling everyone in the match by telling them, "Oh, look, I can get above you. Watch out above. Watch out from the side." You know, so if it is discovering an exploit and reporting it, then they can explain that to Blizzard. Otherwise, it's kind of like, I can't even go on the test realm and try out these characters without being trolled by someone who's cheating. Kind of like, come on, man. So,
fair enough.
It was Farah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So
bad joke. So, do you think he'll get some professional play whenever he's available?
His point clear is so strong. He's relatively meaty. I think that they'll need to suss out the meta. I feel like Reaper and Anna, who can sleep him, and Farah didn't do that much damage, but Reaper 76 did some serious damage. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to think, is it a viable enough tank to sit out front? And I don't know if you can heal him through much. So I'll say maybe. A solid maybe, because I feel like he's tuned up pretty strong. I'm
thinking if he is a Brigitte breaker, then yes, absolutely. Yeah. But if he's not, then he won't get played.
What if you could attach the rope to another player?
That would be entertaining, but like Farah?
Like Farah, or I was thinking Reinhardt. And Reinhardt does the charge in?
I don't think they'd allow it because there are some characters, I'm thinking Reaper in particular, that have teleports. And Tracer with blinks, and that'd be really weird to see them blink too. So I'm thinking you probably can't, but I haven't tried it. So who knows?
So there's some interesting things going on with Overwatch.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in Overwatch, or is that pretty much the...
Well, there's a new... I don't know how to say that. Every time I try to say this word, I screw it up. Nendoroid? It's an action figure type thing.
Yes, I know what you're talking about now.
There's a Junkrat coming out, and I'm like... Because the facial expressions on it is so funny. It's got a couple of... he's got the different poses and all that, and I'm just like, oh, I really want that one. And then I looked at the price tag, and I was like, I still want it. I can't afford it right now, but I want it. Oh, it's the same as all the other ones. It's like $50.
I have to decrap my life, not add more really cool but useless things. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to collect all the Overwatch stuff, then you've already put a ton of money into it. What's another $60?
Maybe if you had a curio cabinet or shelf dedicated to,
Oh, yeah. Most people probably have this stuff locked in cabinets or have shelves dedicated to.
See, but the one they need is the one from the thing where he shoots himself in the nuts. That's the one that they need.
Well, that would have to be a different figure. I'm still waiting for the Junkrat statue.
If you could trade out the face, and then you could manipulate the arms to cover the crotch.
Yeah. Well, I know they've got the rip tires available, and then one of the landmines you can stand on that too. So they do have. So I would imagine you could probably. I don't know if they have the face for the shot himself in the nuts, but yeah,
that would be pretty
plenty
good.
of options. I saw it and I was like, ooh, I want that. Ooh, I see the price. I still want it, but it'll have to wait. That's really about it for Overwatch, unless you got something else.
I don't have anything in particular for that. No.
Yeah. Well, then we can just
Near.
go ahead and move on to World of Warcraft.
What? Do we cover that? Do you even cover that,
Yes.
bro?
Yes? Question mark. So, without getting into anything spoilery, because we don't do that unless we mark it specific. Hey, there's spoilers. There was an interview with Forbes with game director Ian Hazakostas. One of those two. Now, this is not the WoW history that they did with him. This is just a plain interview. So, be aware.
From Forbes, though. I mean, that's
from Forbes,
a
so
legitimate thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they don't do more of these. I mean, it can't be an incidental... Blizzard and World of Warcraft are somewhat monumental in the whole scheme of things as far as video game entertainment goes. So,
I think part of that is a lot of big names like magazines like Forbes and stuff don't really look at video games as a thing. They look at it as, oh, it's video games.
Yeah, but maybe they should look at it as a thing.
They should, but
it's a lot of money for a thing.
Yeah, but they don't because it's video games.
Oh, I gotta put that down.
So, some highlights from the interview. Things we already knew. Gear swapping in dungeons ain't going to be a thing. You go in and or Mythic Pluses at least. You go in with the gear. You don't get to change. Having a single battle res for the entire dungeon. That's something that they're doing. They've already started. I mean, I'm sure
That's a tall order right there.
Well, I think what that is more of a kind of like the MDI, where you start off with the one.
Yep.
And eventually it'll build up into a second and a third and stuff like that.
As long as it builds up, because, ouch.
Yeah, if it's just
get
one,
by with one for the whole instance.
That would suck.
I mean, unless they really ratchet up the. Was it for the islands? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we talking about dungeons? I think it's the dungeons.
Yeah, Mythic Plus
okay.
dungeons.
That would really up the penalty on a Mythic Plus, because just one Hunter Barrage, and not to blame Hunter, or a Druid Starfall, and one person gets nicked, or one of those what do you call them? Affixes that just the one for healers, for example, is that
necrotic?
Yeah, necrotic. So someone's health goes down and it just drops like a rock, and you can't do anything about it. Something like that. That's just ouch, brutal.
Yeah, well, that just means you got to learn the dungeon and play the affixes. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what it's going to turn into. Azerite armor cannot Warforge or Titanforge. It is what it is.
Huh. Okay.
So, I'm imagining there's going to be questing Azerite armor, maybe heroic dungeon Azerite armor, and then raiding Azerite armor.
Huh.
And then once you get through that, then you'll probably have the catch up, which will be somewhere around the raiding, and then the next tier of raid will have new Azerite armor. So it'll just keep refreshing.
Le new Azerite armor.
Only sources are those that are not infinitely repeatable for the Azerite armor. So the weekly chests.
Does that count as infinitely repeatable?
Well, I mean, you only get the chest once a week. Whenever they say infinitely repeatable, it's, hey, I'm going to run this Mythic Plus 87 times today.
Oh, man. Yeah, but I thought you only got one reward a week from those anyway.
You do now, yeah. That back whenever they were doing it, they were running it over and over because you could still Like current running off souls over and over. You only get the one reward a week, but back then it didn't. That wasn't how it worked. You got less artifact power in it because it was so short, but because it was so short, you could run it so many times. So, the emissary quest, the once per week or the once a day, you do that. That's the way to get it. Now, this is after you get once you get past running normal / heroic dungeons. This is how you would get it. Your emissary quest, PvP chest, or the mythic chest at the end of the week. So, PvE-wise, you're looking at a drop from a raid boss, or a world boss, possibly. Or we're currently doing 4 quests for 4 world quests. You get the box, you get that. Will it be the Paragon chest? I would imagine probably. But there's no word one way or another.
Hey, we actually got some chat room.
Happens every now and then.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I'll be kind of curious to see how that stuff actually hashes out with the Azerite armor, because I feel like they're always searching for a way to fix the problem of being able to spend more time to grind out more stuff that creates more disparity.
Well, okay, so on that note, here's easy way to look at it. If you spend 24 hours a day in the game, one, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
Because you might want to eat and sleep. But getting rid of that part of it, yeah, you're going to get ahead. Is it fair to the people who go and play once a week?
I suppose relatively.
I don't think fair is the right word. You put more time in, you're going to have more access to more rewards. Here's a prime example of more time, more rewards. Big Love Rocket from Valentine's Day. I had 19 max level characters. You want to know why I had 5 Demon Hunters? Because they started at 98. They were the fastest ones to level. So I have plenty of characters I could run through it. Why? Because I wanted more attempts at that rocket. Did it up my chances? Technically, no. But I had more chances at that low drop rate. Because it wasn't like 0.01 or this one. Okay, well, it didn't happen. It was 0.02. No, it was 0.01 every time. I had more opportunities at that.
You had more tickets in the drawing.
Exactly.
Right.
So it was just that's why I did it. After 1,314 attempts total, not this year, I got it.
Congratulations!
Finally. Well, yeah, we mentioned it on the show way back then. But
right, I know, but it's kind of like the reward of the
reward of futility. The year, yeah. So
maybe you always wonder if maybe they should bake something in though, where you get a chance.
Yeah, I mean it's always a chance. But my point is, I put in more time. I went more times, thus it was more possible for me to get it than someone who only did it once a year.
Right.
Because I was taking their chance. I took their one chance and I did it however many times every day. Because up until I got it. So calling the people who spend more time in game not fair because they get extra rewards isn't really. It doesn't seem right. Because that's how the game has always been.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be like, we're only going to play once a week. Why? Because there's no reason not to. You let the people who play more get the more rewards. Don't make it to the point where it's just like in PvP, you're going to start off with, here, I level 7,000. What's your eye level? 3. Don't make it that kind of reward difference. But there should be a difference.
Yeah, I'm just talking about you could spread your time out over multiple characters versus just grinding out the one, I guess, is kind of the point. But
yeah. But
your Love Rocket one was a brutal story of self-torture and
every year. And
I mean, I've known you for years, man, and every time it came around to Love Rocket season, you were out there doing
That's
12 to 19 a day.
every single day. Like, so there are days, like during that season, that's what I did. I might do a set of world quests on my main character, and that was it. None of my alts got anything except for that. And then when I finally got it, I was like, oh my god. And it wasn't a joy. I mean, yeah, I was happy I got it, but it was more of a sigh of relief at that point. Because, 1,300 times is a lot. And that's the ones that I can confirm. I can't confirm higher than that, but I'm willing to bet that number is actually higher for kills. Anyway, getting back to Azurite armor and BFA stuff, the interview in particular. Item level, this direct quote, item level will be a clear upgrade indicator.
Well, and that's something that we've all been looking for, because I've had to scrap so many higher item levels just because the itemization wasn't there.
Yeah. I hope this works out the way it said. Higher item level means it's an upgrade. I don't know. Short of making the secondaries so minuscule in their proportion to like their main stats, and then even then you're gonna have to work out something with necklaces and rings because they don't have main stats anymore, and trinkets most of the time.
The legendary ones have, but there's not going to be the same rash of legendaries. In this expansion,
I'm just looking back at even back in Wrath. I didn't always get to use my highest eye level item because I was not in a world first guild or anything like that, but I did try to min-max my stuff as much as I could. And this expansion, I've took a slight step back where I'm wearing Prydaz most of the time because I'm helping out my healers as opposed to doing the 0.1% damage I could be doing extra. Now, if it's a fight that I'm not worried about it, then I'm going to wear my 0.1% better gear, but it's so minuscule that I'm left like, I'm going to help the healers out because worst case scenario, they get to heal someone else who needs it more.
Right. Yeah, I've been evangelizing Prydaz all expansion. Yeah.
Well, at least for this raid tier.
Well, and in fairness,
a little bit for last raid tier, but yeah. In fairness.
After my sneeze.
Yeah.
In fairness, most of the raid teams that I've been on with people, it wasn't a function of whether we lacked the item levels or rotational abilities to perform the DPS check. It was almost exclusively were we doing the mechanics and dodging avoidable catastrophic damage. Because, thank you, Sakushu, incidental damage, our healers were good enough to cover up. It's the catastrophic damage where you take your full health's worth of death in, 5 seconds or less, that Prydaz is basically saving you, 30% of your health, 50%, depending on the way it was looking. So, yeah, I mean, yes. Or maybe it would make people lazy.
Yeah. Well, I know in my case, the Garathi Worldbreaker, the first boss of the current raid, I still wear Prydaz. Because every now and then he just happens to do a cleave, and I happen to take part of it. A lot of times, because I do play melee. So I wear that just to help out. Because I don't want to deal with it. But also, because on Mythic, you have to do the soaking mechanics.
Right.
And if I'm wearing Prydaz, and if it procs at just the right time, I can actually double soak without a whole lot of external cooldowns like my bubble, because I rep paladin.
That's a great point.
So I'm getting extra use out of it and all that. So I mean, I know I know we have other people that can soak, but I also know how often things get missed. So
and then in tanking as well, though. Oh, hey, you take care of that while I monologue. So when I'm tanking, though, there's two things. There's the Golganas Vitality or whatever it is, which is a clickable shield for 50% of your health worth of a shield that heals you at the end, plus Prydaz. And when you're talking 30% of 10 to 20 million, depending on when you stack those effects, That's like a whole half a tank more. Prydaz is for bad, Talon says. Yeah, but that's survivability. I mean, is survivability really ever bad?
If people would stop standing and stuff, it wouldn't be as bad, but there are still the fights where it comes in handy.
Yeah.
And then Mythic Dogs comes to mind. Prydaz helps out a lot there for a lot of people. The ones who actually, wear it. But
yeah. I wonder if you total it up, because it's every 30 seconds, and if there's, like a 12-minute fight, or even, let's say, a 10-minute fight, that's 20 charges.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I'd like to go in and see. I'd need someone else to do it for me. How much damage someone isn't taking because of wearing Prydaz.
I'm sure we could go check the most recent logs.
Yeah,
and
I don't evangelize it anywhere near like you do. I'll make a random joke about it. But, but I can guarantee it saved my life at least once.
See, Hallen doesn't want Prydaz because he wants better parses.
Yeah, and that's fine. And it's not just Howland, there's other people. Howland is awesome. He doesn't need to worry about parses. But only the kills count. Like, you can parse, you could be like, oh, I did 7.8 million healing per second. Did you kill it? No. Well, then no, you didn't. So
it'd be interesting to look. Howland. I'm sure it shows it on there, but
WoW Analyzer shows damage it prevents. So I'll have to go look. It's one of those things that I'm not going to look at right now.
No, but
stuff.
Looking forward, and it has excellent stats. Excellent stats.
Depending on your class.
Well, yeah. For me, it has excellent stats.
Yeah. Moving on, away from Prydaz.
The weekly Prydaz commercial.
Yeah.
Falling down in raid too often. Don't feel like you've got enough pep in your step.
Yeah. God, now we're going to have to make a commercial. Thanks, Galv.
We should. That would be pretty appropriate.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out something. Moving on, though. Cathedral, the Eternal Night was really hard, but Seed of the Triumvirate wasn't.
Yeah.
Until you get to the mythic areas, then yeah, I'd agree with that. Cathedral was definitely harder than Seat in terms of heroics and even really low-level mythics.
I think that's because the general trash in there's actual abilities were penalizing abilities, if that makes sense. Like the little things on the floor that, or the lashers with the spots on the floor that killed you. I mean, like, that's an actual penalty to play.
Yeah. So yeah, it happens. They mentioned affixes. No major changes are planned outside the ones they've already talked about. Legion dungeons were designed in the vacuum. Mythic Plus got layered on top of it. BFA, they're designed Mythic Plus in mind. I'm not sure that's always a good thing. I'd like to see a couple that didn't have that in mind, just because. But design-wise, that's on them. Cross-realm mythic rating. This is huge. A huge change from what it has been. We mentioned that there's a feat of strength for the first 100 guilds, Horde and Alliance both, each. So 100 Alliance, 100 Horde. For basically world first. Now it's first 100. Well, once 100 Alliance guilds and 100 Horde guilds defeat Mythic difficulty in Raid, Cross-Realm Mythic is open. So it could be 1 week. Not going to happen, but it could.
No, yeah.
So it'll probably be within a month, depending on the raid. Of the raid coming out, the Cross-Realm Mythic can happen. So if you have teams that have people on other realms, it's possible.
So, do you think that Mythic raiding teams will intentionally hold up so that non-mythic rating teams don't catch up quite as fast. Is that too petty? Because
no, they're not going to do that because even the first 100 get an achievement. After if you're number 101 by 1 second, you don't get that achievement anymore. You're going to want to have that achievement if you're a top 100 guild. So someone like Method, they're not going to... I mean, that's like saying, hey, Method, we know you're going to get rolled first. Why don't you wait a while and let everyone catch up before you get it?
Yeah, Howland, I agree with.
Yeah. So... Sorry, had to move. Chairs.
That's okay.
My chair is uncomfortable. I've been in it for a while.
Shift thine ass, sir.
Yes. That might be a show title. Not really. So yeah, and then there was the 1 year thing they had where Ian went through and was like, back at this time, this is what we did. It was mostly, changes and lore stuff, and,
Back in my day.
Yeah, it was an hour-long video, so whenever you're done here, go check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah.
It's like 51 and a half minutes, something like that. It's not terrible.
It's a good 5 to 10 minute read, depending on how fast you read.
Yeah. As you saw from our lovely title screen, which was donated to us this week by Theory.
Thank you, Theory.
Yes. There's a weird artifact thing going on. What is that? What happened to artifacts this week, Alf?
Oh my god! So how do I okay. Have you ever been told that to get what you want, you're going to have to do something like 500 laps around the track? Because that's essentially what happened this week. They opened up the next quest line in Scythelus. And Silithus. It's so silly how people say that. Silithus. And you go to Magni, and he's like, spoiler alert, something happens. And then anyway, your weapons per character, each character, you don't have to do it for every spec per character, but they become empowered, fully empowered. And the upshot of that is that you progress the story, but now there's somewhat of a ticking time bomb effect on your weapons. And it's pretty impressive looking. But per character, you have to go and repeat this quest. And just flying between where Magni is, roughly below the thing and above the thing, it's like, even if you're quick, there's like 20 minutes of travel time for just the quest. I don't know, 15?
So if you're caught up, you only have the new quest. You literally... Right.
If all of your characters are already caught up.
Yeah, if they're already caught up, you have one new quest. I will presume that you're starting in Dalaran. Go to Dalaran. If you're Alliance, go to Stormwind. If you're Horde, go to Orgrimmar. And then from there, you take the same portal and you end up in the same spot. Oldham. The Cata portal. That's the closest portal you got. You can go to Caverns of Time from Old Dalaran, but honestly, don't bother. My way's faster.
It's longer.
Yeah, my way's faster. You will fly from Oldham to Silithus. And if you're already caught up, all you got to do is talk to the little flight person, and you get an auto flight up to where Magni's at. And then you do the thing, and you get the cinematic. And a lot of costumes can work. Some of them don't, because they turn it off.
Right.
And they didn't tell anyone about that. Now, if you're not caught up, then you have a few quests. If you're Horde, you have the Lazy Peons. You go collect the head. You talk to person, you travel to Magni, or you collect the head, you talk to Khadgar, you talk to Magni, you talk to Khadgar, you talk to the flight person, and you fly up and you do the thing. If you're Alliance side, then I believe you have to plant some bombs, and then you collect the head, and then you talk, and you talk, and you talk, and then you like that. So the brains, the bugs, and all that other stuff, side, optional, not needed. If you just want to do that.
Oh, you can't. You can't. Oh, I see what you're saying. Only some of those quests are needed.
Yeah, the only ones you have to do are plant the bombs if you're Alliance. If you're Horde, it's called Lazy Peons, where you go find the lazy peons.
I'll narrow the scope of my comment then. The upshot of this is that no matter where you are in the artifact quest, you get maxed out. Your artifact is instantly maxed out.
Yeah.
So I rolled my shaman, who's got an artifact weapon. I was pretty far along on it. Instantly maxed out all the artifact weapons. I haven't tested to see if it works. If you haven't acquired, let's say your character's only unlocked one of the artifact specs.
It unlocks. It's been tested.
All specs. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's been tested.
Now, keep in mind, whenever you do this, you're not completely unlocked yet. You still have to go up to the Netherlight Crucible and fill in the little chart thing there, and then you're cool.
Yeah. But the point is, to get the effect, you just have to have a 110 with an artifact. Go do that quest series, and I did that for all of my characters, and I saw other people I know doing it for their 10 characters, 12 characters, 19 characters.
Yeah.
And I won't say it's an embarrassment, but it's like time out of your life that you just unlock for the everything or per server. It's so many laps.
Okay. How many times did you have to level to max level? It's the same thing.
I've only got 3.
Okay. Well, then you ran 3 laps to get 3 max levels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like Howlin in chat just put, it's the price you pay for having so many alts. Did I have to do that? Absolutely not. I could have not bothered because I'm not going to be doing the mage tower in half of them, 2/3 of them, 3/4, whatever. A lot of them. I'm not bothering with the mage tower. I did it anyway because I might decide beforehand, oh, I want to do something on this character. Why not just get the free power up?
Right.
So for the benefit that you could get out of it versus time spent, I wouldn't call it a waste. Now, if you're like me, I probably wasted a good amount of time on it because there's a lot of characters I'm not doing anything with, except for, mission tables from the order hall to get gold. So there's that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're not going to use it, then don't bother. But once the artifacts go boom, they're going boom for everybody.
Yeah.
Whether you've done it or not. And then even leveling, they've gone boom. So it's literally put your highest eye level relic in the slots because none of the side stuff is going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Which means
it'll be a shame saying goodbye.
Yeah, my artifact is actually going to
weapon.
get more powerful whenever that happens because I have relics that I can't use. Because not the right traits. Thank you, Netherlight Crucible. Screw you too. So yeah.
I was hoping that I would get a 1,000 item level weapon before the end of the expansion, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I'd have to get a freaking Titan Forge relic. I've been using my bonus rolls only for relics.
Yep, me too. Well, I've been using bonus rolls on every mythic kill, hoping that that's the one. You know what I mean? That one's the one.
Yeah, but for me, I don't have relics dropping out of that, so every boss. Like, I think the first one might, but I looked at it and I was like, I can't use it until ever, because I've already got my best in slot that's Titan Forged. That's better than that one, so it would have to Warforge or Titan Forge, and I just don't trust it. So, yeah. You know, it is what it is.
C'est la vie.
Yep. Hey, there's something here cool for you, Galv. Since you play a hunter.
What?
They're gonna give you more slots in your little hunter,
in my little hunter bag
thing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you can store more pets.
I love storing more pets. It's my favoriteest pastime.
Now you will have to feed them again, but you're gonna have access to them.
Feed pets again. I missed that. Show me that. Tell me more. You're teasing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That the feeding them is not real. You get 10 more, so I believe you're up to 60.
Once upon a time, feeding pets was the only reason to bother holding on to the crap food drops that random enemies give you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you're up to 60 pets now that you can hold. I know you're getting 10 more next expansion. Probably pre-patch technically, but that was
fantastico.
Fun. Yep. And then the WoW website itself put up a guide, things you might want to check out before Legion ends. And they actually call it things to complete your Legion checklist. Spellwing, which is Argus ahead of the curve.
Yeah, we got some
perky pugs. Mage Tower.
We got some guests coming.
Yeah, always. The Mage Tower, they're telling you when you want to do it. Clearing Argus before it happens, all that. I mean, there's not a whole lot there, but they did give a shout out to the perky pugs who have been doing the Friendship Bird for the most part this expansion. I mean, yeah, we're doing stuff with our raid team, but they did a 24-hour of non-stop heroic Argus kills. So,
well, good on them.
Yeah. You said we have guests. Who's our guest for this week? Do we know?
This is the second time Cuddles has committed to a date.
Oh. Yeah, he had to back out last time, but I think he had a good reason for it.
He was in the wrong state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of mind. No. He was
Some folks like to get away. Take a holiday.
Hey. Who sings that?
It's less than 8 seconds. Billy Joel.
Okay, let him do it.
Right.
No.
It's why does Billy Joel sing that song? Well, I don't know. So that you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's the...
Yeah. Howlin' chat room. Cuddles is going to stand us up again. He might, but he actually does want to get there.
He
actually does
eager.
want to. Yeah, he wants to go in there and be carried for it. He has no illusions that he's going to get carried.
Well, no, but we've had a really good method to deal with our carries, though, is we have them scoop orbs.
Yeah, just stay dead.
Stay dead, scoop orbs.
Yeah. Alright, well, outside of, like, spoiler stuff, there's not a whole lot left. Like, I don't have anything in my notes from here on out, so non-spoiler... I will give you the non-spoiler version of something that is a spoiler. You can do the pre-patch over on the PTR now. It's there. Like, no cinematics, but you can do the Burning of Teldrassil, which we know is the pre-patch.
Know me.
The Battle of Undercity. We can do all of that in-game. We can actually go play it. What happens? Well, we don't see the cinematic, because they're not going to release that until someone gets there. Like, it's done. But they're not adding it to the game files. It's hidden. But we'll see it whenever the pre-patch comes out. We'll be like, oh, that's what happens. Some of us will see it on our phones, some of us will see it in games, some of us will see it on YouTube within 5 minutes of it happening.
I am excited for the expansion. Yeah. It's about time.
I'm excited for the potential for the expansion, but that's the same as every expansion.
I just want to hit the reset button. The grind has been long enough.
Well, I mean, every expansion is a reset button, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's it, man. You know, just press the button. Let's start...
this one
make looting great again.
No, I'm going to have to kick you off the show again. No, every expansion is its own reset button, but this one feels like it's a bigger reset button. Not just because of the item squish. I don't know, it feels like there's something different about this one to me. What that is, I couldn't really narrow it down, but...
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's just time.
Yeah.
It's I think that they did this expansion more than most others has brought you on a very epic feeling story arc. With some plot holes, mind you. That's fine. I get it.
Jaina.
Well, look, I don't know why you want to call her a plot hole, but you know, I won't dispute it.
I mean, since we're just riding that PG-13 rated R edge, she's been a hole for how many characters?
Yeah, she is not very nice. Yeah, that would be definitely interesting to see some new stuff happen. And Jaina will be back in the forefront. There'll be some more stories, turn some pages, read the book. And yeah, I'm just excited to see some new developments, some new pieces of the puzzle. So yeah. Whew.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless you got anything else, I think we've rambled enough for this show. I'm not kidding.
It's good.
I'm not kidding when I say that we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things on our list to talk about. Yeah, he added something for Hearthstone. Yeah, we talked about Heroes, StarCraft, Diablo a little bit. But there were 6 articles to go over, and we covered it, and we still went over time.
Well, we try.
Yeah,
I mean, and chat room helps too.
Oh, yeah. So, with that, have you any shout-outs or how to get a hold of you online, that kind of thing?
Oh, let's see here. Shout-outs to Mage of Death and Never Impossible. They've been sort of the target I've been chasing for Hearthstone. They're a bunch of really good guys in the community, and they kind of opened some things up for me there. That was pretty cool. And definitely to the raid team as well. So, yeah. Thanks for still playing. And by the way, the last night was a really solid night out. So, appreciate that. How about you, Draven?
Well, to get a hold of me online, that would be the easiest way to do so. At Draven Dresden over on Twitter, because it just seemed like it'd be the logical thing to use. As for shoutouts, I'm going to save that for a little bit later this episode. Like, got a couple, things I got to talk about. But my shoutouts will come a little bit later.
All right.
So, speaking of things that I need to talk about, the music at the start of the show was found over at bensound.com, and it is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. We have a Patreon for the show. Why you would want to use it, I have no idea, but someone mentioned it, so we threw it up, and people said, here, have our money. And I'm like, you're crazy. Thank you. I love crazy. So if you want to donate to the show, feel free. If you want to join our Discord, that is also free. bit.ly/epicfaildiscord. Our Patreon can be found at patreon.com/podcastepicfail. And for those of you who have not been keeping up, I have been playing with our emotes. We still have the normal one, but I updated I'm putting him in chat as I talk. I updated the little golden dude. So now if he shows up on a dark screen, he is now does not have the white background. So it is just the dude. And because we cover a lot of Warcraft, I decided Hogger would be fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So
Epic fail Hogger.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like message Kaz, who dressed up as Hogger at BlizzCon. I was like, hey, it wasn't you specifically. This is the real Hogger, not the costume guy. But I just thought you'd get a kick out of it.
I wonder if we could get Kaz Hogger.
I tried to get them on, but they were always busy. I can try again. But anyway, moving on. This is where I'm going to do my shout-outs. I started playing D&D for technically the second time, but I'm going to call it the first time because I don't count the other one. Because we did it like 1.5 sessions. So I'm not counting it. I am playing with Ben Bumhofer of Azeroth Roundtable and other things. Alludra, who Ben does Battle Pets with, I believe. Zeph, who's been on the show a few times. Nevermore. And it is being DM'd by Evaric. I think that's how you say his name. Someone who is in Azeroth Roundtable's Discord and stuff like that. And we are doing that. I am playing a tiefling wizard who likes messing with people. And because of my stats and my high rolls and them being terrible, I've been able to get away with it. And convince them it's in their own best interest. So I've been having a ton of fun with that. I am the unofficial banker of the group, and they know I'm skimming, but they don't seem to care because I keep rolling high enough that they can't say anything about it.
So they're paying for your critical rolls.
They are allowing me to take a little extra, and they know I'm taking even more extra sometimes.
Mm.
But I have been fair in whatever, like, we were given a reward of 10 gold for something. I split that 10 gold, but I neglected to mention that I upped it. I talked the dude up from 10 to 25, so I kept the other 15. But I split the 10 with everybody.
Hmm. Wow. So generous of you.
Hey, wizards are
so
expensive.
Incredibly magnanimous.
Yes, wizards are expensive. And we would have been on time today, but we literally ran till 10 o'clock tonight because we've been doing it on Sundays. And we are calling it Secrets of Talonguard. There is a Twitter, which I will link in the show notes and all that. We do have a website. I believe it's secretsoftalonguard.com. And you can hear the things that we're doing. Keep in mind, it is early on, and a lot of us are new. So you'll have to keep that in mind. But they wanted to put it out. So it's out there. So my shout out will be to them because they're letting me get away with crap that I have no right getting away with.
All I can hear in my head is that guy with the high-pitched voice from the clip. Are there any girls there? I want to do them! Like, I cast magic missile at the darkness! That one from that series?
No.
It's like, oh, you gotta, I'll message. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I gotta send that.
I probably do, but it's not coming to mind. But yeah.
Alright, I'll find it for you.
We're having fun. I pity poor Zeph.
Good.
She didn't come with us on the adventure. She stayed reading a book, and our adventure took up the entire time. So she got to do nothing this week. So I feel bad for her. But we did get a lot of money and a lot of XP that I don't intend to share with her and any of the money because she wasn't there.
God.
It's fair.
No, it's definitely
if
fair.
she was there and helped, she would have got an even cut.
Might as well be backstabbing your
quote
team.
unquote even cut. No, she messaged me. She's like, "Yeah, I'm not planning on getting any of that money." I was like, "That's good," because I wasn't getting it. Because I'm the one who's picking everything up. But yeah, it's been all kinds of fun, and I'm not going to ramble on too much longer. I'll have the links to the show and on Twitter and all that in the show notes whenever it goes up, whenever we go live. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, check it out. Yeah. Be polite. Keep in mind, a lot of us are new. Like 3/5 of the group have never played really before, so we're still learning.
I swear I just heard this PSA.
Yeah, but a lot of them. There's been a lot of D&D podcasts and stuff come up, but just keep that in mind. We'll be cool, and it's been all kinds of fun. So, with that out of the way, and me, rambling forever. Galv, I have a question for you. Do you have any last words for the show?
Yes. Mythic Monday hype. Yeah.